of course, yesterday there were shockwaves sent down social media space when we heard about the divorce of Basketmouth and his beautiful wife. Many people obviously were saddened about this news, and it's not something we always like to hear. But this year in particular, it has become almost a norm because between January to date, we can almost say at least about 10 celebrity couples have divorced. I'm not sure what this year, what happened, what caused it this year in particular, but the issue of divorce, what are your thoughts on celebrity divorces, especially because when they portrayed a peaceful, happy, and settled home, and where even somebody like Basketball never put his business out there. You know, you hardly see maybe just anniversary or birthday, but he's not one to always publicize his family. And yet, this happened because people say, oh, it's because you're always putting your family business on social media. That's why. But he didn't. And a few of them didn't also. And those ones broke apart. He has asked us to respect their privacy, which is exactly what we plan to do. And as usual, we don't like talking about people in particular, but just the celebrity, the context of it is celebrity homes and the divorces. How come it happened? What could we learn from it? For those other people who are in this space, what could they do to ensure? Or can we begin to accept that, listen, divorce is here to stay once you're mature? And I think we discussed it this week. Once you get to a point in your life, you feel that your threshold has hit it, you can confidently and boldly say, you know what, hasta la vista, baby. I keep saying that. I keep saying that. Which movie was that? The Terminator. I think. Oh, I can't remember. All right. So yeah, let me start with Nima. What are your thoughts on this?
Several divorces from Gideon Okeke, Kunle Afford, the one that broke my heart the most, Funke Akindele and JJC. And,
yeah, that broke our hearts.
He's still breaking it now,
Julius Agu and his wife, Ebere, just so many. And in setting this show, divorces are happening. Most of the courts that we go, especially those in Ogun State, is divorce most of the time. We are doing there because the courts are not congested. And it's just heartbreaking. One of the core things I see when a marriage fails is that when you pour everything down after all the English they have spoken, there wasn't sincerity. If two parties are coming together and they are clearly sincere with each other, this is how this marriage is going. I can take, I cannot take, and everybody is being honest and committed 100% to that marriage. Ups and downs can come, but you people, wade through it like a sheep and nothing will happen. But small wahala like this, just I can't take it. I can't take it. People are just no sincere.
But there's some things you can't take in reality again. Because this is the season of mental health. Everybody's discussing mental health. Everybody is automatically. We're now seeing the importance of mental health and mental well-being. And when you realize the marriage you've been with 10, 15 years is not helping your mental well-being. It's time for you to find
life,
peace.
Our mental health and well-being is tested. But before marriage, something will test you, maybe lack of it. When you marry, staying with someone, adjusting to that will test you. Children, it will test you. Your mental health will test you when your children are teenagers, when they are growing to that. So I don't know if we say we cannot stay with one. What do you do to your children then when that
Let me come to the other ladies here. What are your thoughts on this matter? Papa, you want to go?
Yeah. It's marriage is sweet, and like everything in life.
You're just a lover.
We have to establish it there.
No, marriage is sweet, and I mentioned on the show this morning about the fact that we got the bad news that we can't get our passport out, which is my husband's passport. My own passport is out, and in the middle of this show, I just sent him my love. We're going to have fun anywhere we are in the world. And there will be disappointment. There will be ups and downs. It will vex you, you will vex him. That's life, because nobody is perfect. So what that means is a lot of marriages break up because there is so much unrealistic expectation, lack of tolerance, wickedness on the parts of one to the other, over feeling like I am so important, you will take anything I dish out to you. Ego, lack of kindness. At the end of everything, I don't want, because celebrity marriages are so in our faces, we see their love. Their weddings are so beautiful. Their couple goals. When they break up, it sends the wrong message to young ones that marriages are.
Others.
No, it sends a wrong message to young ones that marriages marriages are not so, what marriages are not overrated, or marriages are bad, or marriages are, which is why I started by saying that marriage is sweet. Because we need to keep telling people that the fact that cars have accidents does not mean that cars will not carry you. Aeroplanes crash does not mean that all aeroplanes would crash. Some marriages crash, some would sail smoothly all the way till the end. And so set your expectation that yours will sail smoothly, and when you hit the bumpy side, you will experience that turbulence, you will continue, you will not crash. For these celebrities, I feel so bad. When I saw Basketmouth Zone, because Basketmouth got married the same day I got married, the same year I got married. Like, I knew of his wedding as I was planning my own wedding. So it was always something like, let me see their own photo shoots for their wedding anniversary. We know they do photo shoots for our own wedding. So you see, like, everybody is looking towards them. And for whatever reason that happened, I pray they find healing on their journeys, but we must also learn that they're not the benchmark for you. Celebrity marriages are not benchmark for real life. In most cases, celebrity marriages are far from what real life marriages look like. So let's not build up utopia.
Let me come to BC. Your thoughts on this issue of divorce, because I mean, I have an angle I'm trying to build it in my mind. But let me hear your thoughts first.
So I just think people should try as much as possible not to expect so much from other people, especially if you are dealing with human beings. That means, as a wife, do not expect so much from your husband. As a husband, do not expect so much from your wife, because they can fall below that expectations. And of course, there should be basic expectations where we're supposed to work together, we're supposed to agree, you're coming in with 50, I'm coming in with 50, or 30, 70, however it works for you. But have it at the back of your mind that this person is a human being and can fall, and make room for forgiveness even before the fall happens. I'm learning that as I go on this journey, and I'm asking myself, what is that thing that my husband will do today now that I will not forgive him? What is that thing? Aside from beating, that one, I will not take it, yes. But aside from beating, what is it? What is that sin he will commit now that I will not look at him and remember all the good times we've had together and how he has pampered me and raised me and held my hand and made me strong and supported me, that I will not say, because you have been good to me, let me let this go, but please don't do it again. What is that thing? I've not found it. So that tells me that when you make a decision that I'm going to walk this road with this person, it doesn't mean everything will smooth sail. There are days that he shouts at me and I look at him like, I'm not even talking to you again. You just raised your voice at me. And I feel so bad. And I come to the office and I'm fuming because he shouted at me. And then he realizes and he says, I'm sorry. I was going through this and that. I just had to transfer the aggression. There are days when it seems like, are you sure we even know what we are doing in this relationship?
I hope I
But
did
then
not make a
because,
mistake.
yes, because we have promised ourselves that no matter what it is, we will talk about it. We will fight the battle. It's both of us against the world, not the other way around. I find that forgiveness comes more easy. And I'm not saying that you should stay and collect nonsense. As I'm doing all this lovey, so there are some nonsense me I cannot take. But if it's not that kind of nonsense,
Let me go on. I hear you. I like that. Something you said I want to pick on. But let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're discussing divorce and why it happens, especially with celebrities, and what could have led to it. And this is something about shouting. And I wanted to discuss that because I've always said it on the show that my husband is one of the shouting guys, you know. And I've always said that even throughout when we got married, when he just initially started, I was traumatized in the first few years. It took a long time. Eventually, I adjusted and I found coping mechanisms. But as we're growing older, and I was saying that I'm 42 years old by God's grace, I'm getting to the point that you can't shout at me. With all due respect, you can't. I'm getting to that point where I'm like, I ain't going to take this anymore. But you see, I've found a way to cope with it back then.
Yeah.
So as you're growing older,
Sometimes some things you take, you cannot take again.
You can't. So recently we had a very serious argument and everything. And I was really upset, you know, and I'm like, I think it was Pastor Ito went to some event where Pastor Ito was preaching. He now said most people divorce because you don't have unconditional love for your spouse. And he used that word unconditional. My brain started saying, okay, this guy shouts. Is this unconditional? You know, that was what convicted me because...
Will you disown your child for a behavior?
Well, as an adult, it's like a basketball, a celebrity, as you're growing in your career and you're getting a certain level, certain things you've taken
You just
say,
like,
you know what?
I can't take it anymore.
I'm not a child. You can't be shouting at me. I'm way
Honestly,
past
Mariah,
that
I thought I
age.
was the only one.
So you just want to just walk away. So you now say, you know what? Let's all separate. Maybe you be shouting
you're
at
shouting
yourself.
too much, yeah.
Me, I gotta move on.
Maybe you pick a small house girl to be
yeah,
shouting at.
Me, I want to live life without having to worry about, am I going to get shouted at?
Please, quickly, let me just add this.
Yeah.
So that's why we start expecting. Because this is somebody whose makeup you already know.
Yeah.
He did not adopt the shouting in 15 years
did.
down the line. He was
day
shouting
one.
from the beginning. So you adjusted with it till you got to that point where you can no longer take it. Are we being truthful to ourselves? That's the question. Are we really telling ourselves the truth? Do you want somebody in his 50s to all of a sudden change? We're expecting too much from human beings. Your bad character, how many have you adjusted? How many times have you gone to therapy to know how to keep your mouth and talk to your husband? Have you changed? But would he say because of the way you have been talking to me? In fact, sometimes when I like, you just shouted at me, say, but you know that's how I shout now.
Honestly, I thought I was the only one because we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm also we're also in the shouting category.
And your husband shouts?
You're not going to shout.
Okay, so for me, I want the sweetest voice in the world. I'm not I cannot tolerate. I've seen a bit of miss. He does not shout that much, but even in that small, I still feel like you don't talk to. If you're angry, don't talk. Don't pick my phone. Like when you see my call, you know that okay, this is my wife calling me. Let me adjust to sweet babe level for me. But I also think that this happens in both ways. Some men get so big, they feel like their wife does not respect them. Like
Anymore.
I have become the GM. You married a clerk. You cannot be talking to me like that. Do you know how many people worship me in the office? Like, at that come home and you be like, and you say all those funny things. Like, you should treat me well. You're not respecting him anymore. You're not respecting who he has become. You are still seeing him for who you married and who he was. And sometimes it would irritate. That's why some men, I've heard older men give excuses of, if you see the way the younger girl treats me, the younger girl
makes me feel.
The younger girl is like 20 years old and you are like a daddy. So she's all over you, and your wife is. I knew him when he had no slippers. You know, I bought you your first shoe. You did not have any designer, and we must learn as we grow together to honor one another.
But would you say that's why our parents started calling their sweethearts Daddy Lagbaja? to
remind them.
No, to remind themselves, this is now Daddy.
Not themselves. The society then was terrible. You call your husband. When I called my husband's first name, somebody dragged me back. What is the meaning of that? I said, we don't have children yet. What should I call him? So I quickly switched. See, tomorrow, Olome, in my language, my love, my beloved. Simple. Yeah. It's not because of I did not love him that I called his name, but I did not have something to call him.
But for me, I was almost close to
you.
Maybe I should start calling this guy Daddy.
Our daddy.
Because the way this guy, the way you are talking, I want us to start worshiping you.
I think that it's important over and over again. And I think that's, I've seen somebody say my love, and they are slapping each other, my love, and they are fighting each other. So you can my love you and they are beating yourself and hating yourself inside that my love. I think that we should be kind to one another. There was a time we had, kindness, respect. There was a time I had a quarrel with my husband and I was speaking on an issue and I was reiterating it and he said, like, you say this thing all the time, like you are perfect. Do I sit down and tell you all the things that you do? He said, should I also wake up in the morning and say, yesterday, what you did? And I say, that's how you did it last week too. Will you like it? That you're not perfect either, you know? And I think I sat down and I thought about myself.
That was a lovely way to say
I
did something. I wrote an SMS to my husband, all the things I didn't like. And I was upset, I wrote it. And the guy looked at me, okay, you do this all the time. It is all right. When I read my own film, I just go inside kitchen, go do a bonus soup.
But you see, do you know the reason? People
sometimes
happen. You get to a point in your life, you just I can't take it, let's go our separate ways.
But no, you are not perfect.
Can we still make it work? Is it necessary to make it work?
Let me try and address that, because Nigerian men, whether you like it or not, must have seen their fathers shouting. It's a normal something. So I was lucky to have practiced on my dad. Whenever he's upset and he wants to raise his voice, I'll be like, it's me. It's me. And you know, because I'm daddy's girl, I'm my dad's mother and all of those things, he calms down. So I practiced it on my husband. It didn't work. And if you shout on me too much, I walk out. And he doesn't like somebody walking out on him. Like, why you? I'm talking, you're shouting. But me, when my pitch is going up, I don't used to know. So sometimes when you sit with this person and he sees me walking out, he knows that, okay, I'm shouting. And then when my pitch is going on and I see him just shutting down, as in, I know that my pitch is going up. Or sometimes he helps me be like, you can still say it calmly. And so, but that you will not have back and forth in your marriage in a lie. And don't let anybody deceive you, except we're not Nigerian. All of us see shouting me
everywhere. Every Nigerian man shouts.
So it's a way to adjust to that. There are other things that come
Trust
up in
me,
marriage.
the one that doesn't shout like I always shout.
You have not seen my husband
You're shouting, never
Even
shout.
though Krita get great.
I always shout.
Let me pass them, but you know,
But let's talk about
I shout.
let's talk about deal breakers.
No, hold on, please. Let me say that
You know I shout.
one of the reasons I collect my shouts in humility is because now me mess up. If you check the things that I can do, I'm actually a very naughty wife. No, I'm not going to lie on national TV. I'm a very naughty wife. So when I have done that thing, they are shouting. I am humble because now me don't first mess up. But I'm still angry that you are shouting. You could have told me, but they tell you something 10 times. You are still doing the same thing. They will shout. So me, when they are shouting, I just collect my shout. Then I go inside and keep frowning my face. I'll find a way around it. But what this is just telling us is that we all need to evolve together. There's something my husband always does, and I'm beginning to appreciate it now that I'm getting older. Every few months, he will say, sit down, write the things that you don't like that I'm doing. I don't like that conversation because me, I know the things he doesn't like that I'm doing, that I'm still doing, I don't want to change. I don't like it. I say, but baby, we are good. He said, no, we are not good. Write the things you are doing, you think I'm doing. Because I know exactly. They want to attack some things that I've been doing. And so by the time we now present the things we have been doing, you just hear me say, sorry, I'm sorry, okay, I'll try and adjust. And it's also helping me in my own personal work to become a better human being. I'm trying to adjust some things, okay, this is how. And I always remember the first love, how we started. And I say, no matter what, I will respect this man. He has earned my respect. Yes. I will give it to, even if I become the president of Nigeria tomorrow, I will serve my husband, I will respect him. So it's a commitment that I have decided to do.
Yes.
And I will stand by it by the grace of God.
Let me go on a break. When we come back, we'll still bring this back into the celebrity conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we were talking about the celebrity breakups, then we moved on to our own personal lives, and then I'm just taking it back to celebrity because we can't even really tell why theirs break up, but we use ours as an example to show that we all go through these phases. And somehow we find a way to work around it. So even the P-Square Zone, the fact that we saw videos of him flirting with the new babe, saying that their relationship has been about a year. All this kind of gets messy. See, infidelity is a different conversation. That one is almost like a lot of people's the deal breakers. But there's some subtle ones that we don't see, and that's what we're discussing about. Little things that we just overlook. People overlook and just think, and then it becomes a mountain. And then when they ask her in divorce, I don't even know, do you love me? Yes, I still love you, but I just can't stay with him. And you're wondering, why?
You love somebody?
Many people don't understand, but it's these little things, these little foxes that become...
So when we got married, growing up, I'm reading books, all the books are everywhere. That's how I'm disorganized. But I thrive like that. My husband, in 2 hours max, he has turned the whole house upside down clean. Can't stand a dirty place. Books are in the shop, everything. And you can do this. Why are you not asking me
to do it?
It's
not my skill.
That was our major fight. 2017, we were fighting over cockroach. Cockroach. The fight was over 6 months, every single day. I've seen another cockroach in this house. There's cockroach. You're so dirty. I mean, they bought cockroach. You know? So, eventually, my auntie came in. Somebody now gave us one small solution.
That powder, right?
Till tomorrow, we never see cockroach for our house. Really?
No.
There's a
Till tomorrow, we can't stand cockroach. You can't stand cockroach. He will turn the kitchen upside down. You must have left fish in the kitchen. So those things cause fight. And we finally solved it in 2022. Since this is my 14-year country, got a minute. Solution day.
But
some of
those things have solutions.
But you know,
others don't.
He was at I remember this fight when he called my auntie one day. He was at the breaking point, and I was looking at him like, Abi won't slap me, Abi won't slap me.
No, but for him, he might also feel like, have I made a big error?
Yes.
Have I married somebody that we're not compatible, that keeps the house in a way that I cannot take? I'm not a cooking person. And national television, I don't talk on before. And for a long time, I just felt like he tolerated it. He felt like you're not a home manager. He has said it's that. I said, I will outsource it. Let me work hard and make money. And I will pay somebody that will be doing all of those things for me. Like, has egg finished in the house? I don't know. do we have... Is everything in the freezer? Literally, I don't know. I don't think I should be worrying my head about that kind of thing. It's not my point of view. Imagine getting married to such a person, and my husband can cook. Is like when I say cook, you will bite your banga or for everything he can cook. So in I marry someone that is not in that area. So it was, and I felt when I was, and I'm quick to point out errors. So he had to make me know that this thing, to me too, I'm tolerating it now. You too, you have yours. And I think it is important that we understand that there are some people that their own is not as easy to laugh over as what we might be sharing.
We choose to laugh.
But the truth is, yes, we choose to laugh over it. There are cases where people feel like they've been disrespected so much.
So much, yeah.
Somebody talks to you rudely in front of people. Somebody cheats into your face. You know, like I disrespect so much, I bring a girl into the house. There are stories like that.
There are serious deal breakers.
Deal breakers where somebody empties your account consistently, no matter your hard work. And you're wondering, why would you do that? Like, our children don't have school fees and you have gambled away all the money. Gambling away everything. There are some major issues that we cannot overlook. And BC mentioned something. We call it family review. You must have what they call a marriage review conversation on a regular basis. It might be quarterly. Sit down and ask yourself, are we really good? When we did Sexually Confident Women conference, and after I did that conference, I go back home and I said that, let me ask my husband, are we really good? It was a shocker because he was now open enough to share all the things that was in his mind that he never spoke about.
That he was managing.
So, and he was managing them, and there were things I could improve upon. So we need to have a conversation with ourselves to let each other know that if we want this marriage to work, we must continually review and be willing to learn on that journey.
Fantastic. Okay, let me just quickly add that, you know, everybody has their deal breakers. We have all mentioned that. If it's taking your peace, that means it's not good for you. And if you cannot adjust it, then you can now start looking at your other options. But if it's something you can manage, imagine having a child who has some, I have kids now that I'm chasing up and down to take their bath. They're very different. I have the one that we beg to read his book or to threaten cane. I've not disowned any of them because the love is coming from my heart. They are a part of me. So if you take your spouse to be a part of it, except that thing is so irreconcilable that maybe it's taking your mental health, is affecting you psychologically, physically, and you want to take yourself out of that toxic environment. But if it's something like behavior adjustments that you can walk around, nobody, even if you meet the next person, they will have their own issues. Nobody is perfect. Then also be humble enough to accept feedback and work on yourself. Most women I know are not humble to take their own. So when you tell them their own, they're like, no, it's not me. They are focusing on the other person, not working on themselves. If you're a good human being, you can live with anybody.
We have to wrap up. Let me take a few comments on social media and I'll call from Mecca.
Somebody
says, Nima should tell us the solution to cockroach. I beg. Let me take Emeka from Kano.
It's for original one.
Emeka, are you there? Thanks for calling. Is what is green?
Good morning.
Green
There's a particular brand.
It's the first time caller. My name is Emeka from Kano. Yeah. I quickly want to say that you all have said it all. You're doing an amazing job, first of all. I don't miss this program. In fact, sometimes I go late to the office. So what I also want to say is that we need to, you've all said it, we need to also make once you know you are not married to an angel, we all have our faults, but we always look at the mirror and see the other person and want to always judge. It will never always be rosy in marriages, and that's one thing I love about your program. You guys always say the truth. Where you falter, where you do it, you all say the truth, and we learn from it. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir.
Let me build on this one. Festus Akiboyewa says marriage is a lifetime of adjustment. Both sides, because men don't like to do. There's no made in heaven marriage. Marriage needs constant investment, emotional and physical, and adjustment. You will always enjoy your marriage if it is built on solid rock and not on sandy ground.
Fantastic.
So I want to use this one to quickly, you know, I said it the other day, growing, knowing, adjusting, and maturing with time. The things I could take before, I can't take again. My husband should be able to know, as we are growing together, what we can be dishing to each other.
That shouting should reduce.
Yes. And then there's also this thing I used to do. Me, I used to spot mentors. In the family, there must be one person with big person. It cannot be big
That
more
he
than
can
all these
listen
people.
to.
So that person should be your right hand party. Thank you, Nengba. I know he's watching.
Let me take so somebody from, good morning, sir.
Right hand party,
Dr. Bello, good morning, sir. Are you there? Our final
Good
call on this
morning,
segment.
good morning.
Good morning,
Thank
madam.
you very much. I'm a first-time caller, and I'm very happy I made it today. Thank you very much. Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I love today's program. I've always been the follower of this program. I don't like missing it. I get off it very early, so I can take it. I love today's program. And you have said it all. You have said my mind. Everybody has said my mind. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
We
so
have to wrap
much.
up on this, and I think this year, 2022 in particular, lots of celebrities have gone their separate ways. Many marriages, I was counting about over 10, about 12 of marriages have come down this year alone from celebrities. We're not really happy about that, but we must understand that it's a continuous learning process. Everybody at every stage in time, and I like what BC said, there's a continuous review. So I think what lesson we can take from here is that so we don't get to the point where we're going our separate ways. That's not our, as much as we complain and complain, nobody here wants a divorce.
Let's just
But we want to say, let us have a continuous review
Marriage
on
is
both
tough.
sides.
Divorce is tougher.
But yes, marriage is tough.
Anything that requires work, whether inside marriage or outside. Because when you separate from the person that is nasty, you might still give you nastiness to settle some of the baggages that come with marriage.
So you're better off just reviewing. I think that's what all of us should go back home and review. People like us that they do shouting, we review. Discuss again, end of the year meeting. Yeah.
My own is 31st
What must we do for this shouting to reduce?
What can I do?
What can I do better? All right.
Help you.
That is all we can take on this segment.